Hello, this is TGC Requiem. I am playing with a little bit of a Bug Delver brew today. Um, it's really originally based off of the list. I think it was Adam Franzi played at the SCG Invitational and did well, and just kind of trying to use the information I gained from the gentleman who had won the Teamer Delver, Jordan something or other. He had won the SCG IQ with a Teamer Delver deck, and he had a great article about it on Modern Nexus. And so I'm trying to use some of the things that I learned from him there, and pairing the two things together, plus some thoughts of my own to kind of do a little bit of a brew here. The reason you might play this over Grixis Delver or Teamer Delver is your preference to the colors blue, green, and black. Typically it's going to be a more controlling build when you play in those colors. Teamer is probably the best at trying to get small amounts of damage through to win the game near the end of the game because of Lightning Bolt. Grixis Delver has that as well. Grixis Delver has a lot of dependency on red and black, however. And so the blue version tends to be more of a control version, more of a focus on the blue. This may be the best Disrupting Shoal version of the deck. And Disrupting Shoal is really why we're playing this. Disrupting Shoal is essentially a Force of Will type card that is going to counter your opponent's spells for free. So it costs X blue. However, if you can discard a card with the same converted mana cost as your opponent's spell, then in that case you will actually counter it for free. So you can tap out and your opponent goes to cast a Dark Confidant and you pitch a Snapcaster Mage to Disrupting Shoal. Now you're exiling the card that you pitch. The other thing you would play these colors for is this offers you the ability to get Tarmogoyf and Tasigur. Now Hooting Mandrills in my little bit of playtesting seems to be really good, and from, at least in this build, and from what the Teamer Delver article pointed out, it's really good. I could possibly see Tasigur being a little better here since we're playing more of a control build, but when you want to close a game out, the Hooting Mandrills does a great job. Simic Charm is the other card that's kind of a little, I don't want to say wonky. I remember trying to play with this card in Standard so much and never really being able to get too great of a competitive deck. The best one I had was Master of Waves with Master Biomancer. I had a couple of these in there, but anyway, Simic Charm has 3 options. We have choose target creature. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Really well with Hooting Mandrills or like an unblocked Tarmogoyf or Delver of Secrets. Permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn, so again, just a way of burning spells. You know, maybe perhaps you save a Liliana off of a Abrupt Decay. And return target creature to its owner's hand, a good way to bounce a creature to make way for Tarmogoyf and Tasigur to get through. And the other big thing is it's blue, which means we can pitch it to Disrupting Shoal for a 2 CMC counter. I mean, other than that, if you know much of anything about Delver decks, this is kind of a lot of the same. You're playing Delver of Secrets, a lot of cantrip type cards, to really just kind of move through your deck fast, get a big graveyard, make your Tarmogoyfs big, make your Tasigurs big. I really like Liliana, especially in the metagame. She seems pretty good right now, but she's just one of my favorites, and she just fits in here. I do kind of want to get a 3 CMC Walker in there, so there's always the potential of doing something like Jace. One thing I have run is Ashiok out of the side for the mirrors, or not the mirrors, but for the mid-range matchups like Abzan, Jund, things like that, where maybe I have a little more trouble. I didn't actually realize I had 2 Ashiok in there, but we'll just deal with it for now. Actually, no, we're gonna cut an Ashiok and add another Drown in Sorrow for those aggro decks we may have more trouble with. For now, at least. So anyway, again, you're trying to cantrip, get your Hoodoo Mandrills or Tassigers out there really fast. Not hard to do. Again, you want to get your Tarmogoyfs out there fast, and you want to have a lot of spells to flip your Delver of Secrets, and that's really what this deck is doing. Yeah, and then in the sideboard, typically Delver decks have a lot of trouble against Abzan, the more standard BGX, grind you out strategies, Jund, Abzan. Sower of Temptation is really good against them. I have that extra Tassiger here for the matchups where we just need to try and get a bigger creature faster. Extra bigger creature, Liliana, and again, Liliana is really good against a lot of some of the fringe decks too. Like, she can be really good against Bogles and stuff like that. And that's actually one of the good things about Disrupting Shoal here. A lot of those decks, it's hard because you want to hold up mana to counter something, but you also want to go forward with your game plan. And being able to tap out with a Disrupting Shoal and have these cards sitting here to pitch to counter their first creature, which when you play Bogles, for example, that might be their only creature. So it works really well. Also, Stubborn Denial, which we haven't touched on yet. Stubborn Denial easily turned on in most cases due to Tarmogoyf, Mandrills, and Tassiger. So, in fact, actually, we're going to go one more thing here. We're going to move the click to the sideboard, and we're actually going to put a Tassiger back in the main. That way we have 9 creatures that should be able to turn on Stubborn Denial. Plus Stubborn Denial, you still have the the ability to counter items if they can't pay for the 1. That happens. So sideboard, again, we were talking about we have trouble against mid-range matchups, so Sower of Temptation helps there, as does Ashiok, Nightmare Weaver. I also brought Sidisi in for that. Part of the reason we have Sower and Sidisi is for CMC counter with Disrupting Shoal, but I also like Sidisi kind of just gets wide. And, you might be at a point where you're just trying to finish the game off, and you just really need to get an extra attacker. And if you get wide enough to get that extra damage in, she helps there. We'll try it out. This is actually my first time playing with her today. Shadow of Doubt. This is kind of like hate for greedy mana bases, and also for decks like Tron or Amulet Bloom that are going out to find things. And so you can pitch it to Shoal for 2, but you also can make them not be able to go find the card that they need. And then Counter Squall is a hard counter for non-creature spells. Controllers lose 2 life. I like that for sometimes replacing Mana Leak when you play those big matchups, because Mana Leak maybe gets outclassed against the Tron deck early or post turn 3 against Amulet. So extra Abrupt Decay just for when you really need a 4th. Extra Liliana when you need that. And then Feed the Clans for Burn should go well with Snapcaster too. So the other thing against Burn, again, you have a lot of options to pitch to Disrupting Shoal, so it's better than you think. I know we don't have Force of Will, but it's kind of like a Force of Will. Well, that is the primer for this, and we'll go ahead and get some matches in here.